Welcome back to Conversational Frame Control. Here we're going to analyze a clip with the actor Jake Lloyd, kind of an awkward interview where he is kind of picked on by the interviewer, and so we can discuss what to do in those types of frame control situations.
This is from a galaxy far, far away. Jake Lloyd, aka Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, I'm sorry.
Now, what have you been up to? The movie came out 99, was it?
Yeah.
So it's been 10 years.
Yeah, and I've been in school the entire time.
So here it's almost like he's already picking up on some kind of troll energy from the interviewer, or he already isn't liking his line of questions. His answer shows a bit of contempt and even defensiveness, right? He's explaining and qualifying himself to the interviewer here. But remember that you don't owe anybody an explanation. So the issue here is your unconscious will often pick up on negative intent before your conscious mind will. And this gives someone who's trolling the opportunity to push your buttons and look for your insecurities while claiming that they're innocent, as long as their put downs are very subtle. And so the best bet here, if you're in doubt about somebody as far as whether they're being covert trolls, is early on in the interaction, it's best to proceed as if the person asking questions is being friendly, even if you're starting to suspect that they aren't. Because if you misinterpret their questions as being, rude, you end up overextending yourself or overreacting in a way that can frame you as being someone who's insecure or neurotic or overreacting, right? That's kind of the goal of trolling, is to get the other person so upset so that they can throw their hands up and say, I don't know why you're being so upset. I was just asking friendly questions. So it's very frustrating if you're in social situations, if you've ever encountered this. Now, we can certainly call out the behavior early on if we want to, but we don't want to appear overreactive.
So,
What are you studying?
right now I'm studying film and psychology.
Okay. So is the acting career over? What's the plan with all that?
It seems to be relatively over. I quit acting about 10 years ago, so I think that's pretty well in behind me, and editing seems to be where I'm heading next.
Okay, now a decade ago, it was a big deal. Phantom Menace was coming out. You were cast in this thing. It was a bit mysterious. Did you know how big a deal it was at the time?
Yeah, it was hard not to know how big of a deal it was.
And you would have seen a lot of the world, a lot of red carpet.
Yeah.
What was that like? What was that like back in the day?
It was cool. It was red carpet experience. I'm not a big fan of cameras anymore, but it's awesome. It was fun.
Have you still got all the paraphernalia, your little figurines? Have you kept all the merchandise?
No,
You shunned it a bit?
no. I just didn't keep the merchandise.
So a common troll tactic here is when you answer no to something, they immediately flip to the opposite extreme and accuse you of that. So Jake is frustrated by this tactic. You can tell just visibly that he's frustrated. And there's many nonverbal tools, or rather many verbal tools, to handle this tactic. But one of those tools is to kind of laugh it off, right? You address it in sort of a minimal way and just kind of move on. You don't give it any sort of serious thought. You just kind of quickly address it and then move on and take the conversation in a direction that you want to go, which is often your persuasive message. So you just give it very little importance, move on, assuming the intent was positive, right? So you might say, well, not really. It wasn't anything so dramatic. I just didn't keep any of it. And then you move right on to the aspects of the conversation that you want to focus on, right? So when you take the question seriously and you take insult to them, or you show that you're insulted, you end up reacting to them, and that gives them a lot of power. They get a lot of satisfaction from causing a reaction from you.
And what about with the ladies? Do you get recognised a lot? Has it helped being the young Anakin?
I don't think pulling the Force card would be a really good idea with the ladies.
What do you use, the editing card?
Yeah, I always use the editing card.
So here we have a great chance, when you're talking to somebody who says something like that, to agree with the statement and amplify, right? This is part of frame control, is it very much dismisses the seriousness of the question. The question was asked, it was kind of an absurd question. So we don't really want to give it a real answer. We don't want to show that it was worth even a real answer. So we might agree and say, yep, force card works every time. It's the best technique. Or, oh yeah, the editing, it's every woman's dream, right? And I'll have to try that sometime, right? You just throw something out there that kind of shows you're joking around, you're not really serious, that you don't take it too seriously.
He has to complete 2 more circuits. Yeah.
So at school though, you must get recognised. Has it helped you in the editing thing, or has it been a bit of a hindrance?
How do you mean?
Being the young Anakin.
That doesn't play into it at all.
So it doesn't. No one knows about it, or they don't care.
That's just the social environment that you're asking about.
It was obviously a big part of your life, which is why I'm asking.
Yeah.
So here Jake is really tilted, right? He's stuck in his head. You can see his jaw tightening. And I think that fight or flight is really kicking in for him. So his answers are becoming a bit more formal and rigid. And it's clear that the other guy is a dirtbag, but it isn't clear enough for him to call out the behavior directly. It wouldn't make sense for him to call it out directly necessarily without looking reactive and causing it to be a very popular video of him losing his cool, right? Which is probably what the interviewer wants. So this is the edge that the troll loves to walk. The interviewer gives plausible, sincere reasons for asking the questions, and these are the type of people that you're going to run into if you go out to bars or even workplace settings. There's very often people like this that just want to push your buttons, so it's good to have verbal skills to be able to handle that.
Yeah.
But it seems like you're not real happy about being asked about it.
No, I'm plenty happy being asked about it. It just seems that I'm just trying to ascertain the real meaning of your questions and make sure I give you the best interview possible.
So trolls love to point out the moment when your body language starts to show anger. So they've already made you react, and they're excited about it, they're proud of it, and they want to embarrass you further by pointing it out to other people or causing you to be defensive about your body language. Well, then they challenge you and they want you to explain why you're angry because, of course, they didn't do anything wrong, right? And so you're forced to either swallow more of their bullshit or you can confront them directly. But they've given you little to challenge them on. They've maintained this mask of sincerity, and so they can always fall back on that and say, oh, I didn't mean anything mean by it, right? So here Jake is about to confront him directly, but he thinks better of it. You see that he's about to confront him or call him out, and he stops and says, no, I just want to give you a good interview, right?
And what's it like being at events like this? Is it nice that you come halfway across the world and everyone loves you and recognises you?
Yeah, it's nice. You come for the fans. That's what you're here for, is to meet people who take you into their home and enjoy what you did, or even if they didn't, they still want to come up and ask questions and sort things out for themselves, and that's what you're here for. It's awesome.
Are you in touch with any of the old casts?
Not so much anymore. I've literally I disappeared on purpose, and I do these maybe once or twice a year, and I've only been doing that for the last couple of years.
All right, Jake Lloyd, we'll let you go there. Before we let you go, child stars have had a bit of they get a bit of a reputation that they turn to, a life of drugs, so may the force be with you.
Oh, well, thank you.
So here our interviewer really outs himself as a troll by delivering that blow as he retreats like a coward. And unfortunately, these kinds of cowards exist in social settings and in business setting. And my recommendation for dealing with them is to really hone your verbal skills and learn specific frame control techniques that allow you to come out on top. Some of the techniques like we mentioned in this video. And if you found this helpful and you like these types of strategies, subscribe to the channel and go ahead and give this video a like. Thank you so much.